Hello, everyone. If you want to start introducing yourself in the chat, that'd be lovely. Just going to give it a minute or so just to make sure that people are entering. Thank you all for joining today. That's it, wonderful. Lovely to meet you all. Wonderful. Perfect. Okay, so we will get started. Can I just confirm with the people who are in the audience, can you see the whole screen with the navigation at the bottom for my slides? Yes. Okay. So I am currently doing a PowerPoint live. And what that means is that you can navigate the slides on your own, but please try to not touch that. Do you also see the notes? Sorry. Thumbs up if you can see the notes as well. I might just have to do this a different way. No. Okay. Perfect. That's good to know. Okay, so you can navigate the notes, the slides if you want to, but please try and stick with how I'm navigating the slides, and we'll go from there. So welcome to everyone today. So today we're going to be looking at 3 incredible resources and training opportunities for smaller organisations. We do know that small organisations can make a big impact in the workplace. So today we're going to have this session recorded. We will put some links in the chat as well, but feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A, and if we've got time at the end, we will answer those questions. If not, we'll do a follow-up afterwards. So my name is Christina Green, and I am the Membership Coordinator at EIDA. We are the Employers Initiative on Domestic Abuse. I am joined today by Cara from Rise for Change and Sam and Rich from Omni Productions. Cara, do you want to come and say hi?
Hi everybody, I'm Cara Donald and I'm the training manager for Rise for Change. It's great to see you all here today.
And Sam? Oh, Rich, do you want to go?
Oh yeah, Sam's probably classically on mute. Hi there everyone. I'm Richard, I'm from Omni Productions. I was partly responsible for Access Safe Spaces, where I was the creative director and director on all the content.
And hello, I'm Sam. I'll be taking you through the resource a little bit later in this presentation.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm navigating to the second slide. Hopefully you can all see. So EIDA, we are the Employers Initiative on Domestic Abuse, and our vision is that every employer takes effective action on domestic abuse. We know that employers have the duty of care to their people and can provide significant support for those experiencing domestic abuse. We are a charity, but a membership organisation, and we currently have over 2,000 employer members. That is growing very organically from month to month. And collectively, all of our members employ about 25%, if not more, closer to 30% now, of the UK workforce. And we remember all the time that anyone could be impacted by domestic abuse, and work may be their only safe space. So all of our tools, resources, everything that you get onto the EIDA membership is completely free and available to any organisation. And what this session will cover, so before I go into any detail, I just wanted to frame what we're going to go through and cover today together. So what we're sharing isn't one single solution, it's actually a set of tools that work together to help you build an effective workplace response. So we're going to start with EIDA's e-learning, which is very much designed as part of your foundation. It's designed for the person or the people who are responsible for putting a domestic abuse response in place. So typically that person might have a HR capacity, a people lead, or someone with responsibility for employee well-being. Then we'll move on to the funded training, which is available through Rise for Change. And that's where you can build your competence and the capability across your organisation. It's particularly relevant for those who might receive disclosures or need a deeper understanding. So your HR teams, line managers, domestic abuse champions, maybe mental health first aiders. Then we will be talking about Access Safe Spaces online training, which is really accessible and flexible, available to anyone across your organisation. It's also really useful as a refresher or part of your onboarding processes as well, helping people to understand how to respond in a particular situation. So think of this very much as a layered approach, where you can build your response, develop those skills, as well as maintain awareness of domestic abuse over time. So whether you're a small organisation yourself, a local authority, or a larger employer supporting smaller organisations, there's definitely something here that you can either use directly or you can share out amongst yourselves. And why this work matters. So as you can see on the screen, this will be slide 4 if anyone's navigating themselves. 1 in 4 of your employees could be experiencing domestic abuse at some point in their lifetime. That equates to about 1 in 3 women or 1 in 5 men. And the impact is enormous. So what people have to go through, they will obviously have absenteeism, loss in productivity, all of which can impact your organisation financially. But obviously we believe that you should be caring after the people and supporting them in terms of their safety. It's particularly important for smaller organisations. So we know that domestic abuse has a huge impact on these individuals, but a very real impact in that workplace. Small organisations make up a vast majority of the UK economy. So over 99% of all private sector businesses in the UK, which is probably about 5.7 million businesses as of early 2025. They have fewer than 250 employees and are definitely considered the backbone of the economy. And they provide roughly 3/5 of employment. So it's really important that we support small enterprises. And yes, the slides can be shared afterwards, just so you know. We also hear consistently that smaller organisations often don't have the same access to resources, whether that's time, budget, or in-house expertise. So that's why these funded opportunities are really important. And the key message here, you don't have to have everything. You don't have to be an expert in this, but actually with these right tools, smaller organisations can make a big difference. So I'm just briefly going to run through the EIDA e-learning. So this is very much your where to start. So if you're an organisation that hasn't got anything in place for domestic abuse, this e-learning will give you a step-by-step guide how to build a domestic abuse response in your workplace, and it's completely tailored to smaller organisations. It's developed through funding through the City of London Corporation, who are an EIDA Beacon member and very much are supportive of our work. And this particular resource, as I said earlier, is about having that ability from HR or management, someone senior who's able to create the domestic abuse response. I won't go through every element in detail, but I wanted to give you a sense of what's included. So the module starts by setting the context, why domestic abuse is a workplace issue, what your role is as an employer. It then introduces our 3R framework, which Sam and Rich will talk through later as well, which is recognise, respond and refer, and highlights that you don't need to be an expert to make the impact. From there, it moves on a practical step-by-step guide to building your response through making a commitment, developing your policies, identifying points of contact, raising awareness and embedding this into your day-to-day processes. It then finishes by looking at how you can encourage others, which is particularly relevant if you're part of a wider network or supply chain. In terms of how to use it, it's designed to be flexible, so you can complete it in one go if you want to. It's 60 to 90 minutes if you do, or you can dip in and out, very much depending on where your response is at. So if you're at that first step, maybe just look at the first part of it. And it's really recommended that you use this as a working tool rather than a one-off piece as you go along. So I will now be handing over to Cara to talk a bit more about the funded training opportunity with Rise for Change. Thank you, Cara.
Thank you, Christina. Hi, everybody. So yeah, I'm the training manager for Rise for Change, which is the training arm of an organisation called Hope After Harm, which is a charity that supports adults and young people to recover from harm and trauma. And we provide a number of different training offers, including around domestic abuse, sexual violence and harassment, and trauma-informed working. We are currently working with EIDA on a specific project to bring funded training to SMEs. Could you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So this project is funded by Vodafone Group Foundation, and it offers 3.5 hours of online training for SMEs, and the training session is CPD accredited. It's open to SMEs who are EIDA members. So that's kind of the main criteria to access the funded sessions, is that you're an SME with fewer than 250 employees and that you're an EIDA member. If you meet that criteria, then you can inquire to access the training. Can you move to the next? Thank you. So the actual training session that we're offering is our Allies Against Abuse, supporting survivors of domestic abuse at work. This training was originally developed for Vodafone, and we continue to deliver it for Vodafone, both nationally and internationally. And that's how this funding came about. They wanted to give us the opportunity to be able to offer this training session to smaller organisations that may not have the resources or the funding to be able to access this kind of training. So they've really given us, an opportunity to broaden the message that they kind of started with the Allies Against Abuse training, and working with a specialist VORG organisation to really kind of promote the issues around domestic abuse and how to support survivors within the workplace. So this training is designed to equip staff to recognise the signs, respond appropriately, and create a culture where colleagues feel safe to seek help. It's a mixture of information, discussion, and kind of practical tools and guidance around supporting survivors within the workplace. And it really is suitable for people with all levels of knowledge and understanding around domestic abuse and at all levels of the organisation. Move to the next one, please, Christine. Thank you. So the main things that are covered during the training is firstly around understanding the dynamics and the impact of domestic abuse. So looking at how it affects survivors emotionally and practically, and also then looking at that impact in the workplace as well. It also covers recognising barriers to disclosure and challenging victim blaming, to really try and kind of challenge some of those barriers to survivors accessing support and being able to disclose within the workplace, and really having that kind of understanding of why it's so important and the response to disclosures is so important when trying to offer a supportive and inclusive workplace. And it finishes up kind of learning about trauma-informed practical ways to offer support within the workplace. All of the training that we offer and deliver at Rise for Change is always through that trauma-informed lens, and that very much runs through the entirety of Allies Against Abuse training. The next slide, please, Chrissy. Thank you. So there is a time limit on how many and how long we have to offer these training sessions. So all of the training sessions are 3.5 hours and delivered online. They can be delivered via Zoom or via Teams, whichever works best for the organisation. We are holding both open sessions, which is if you're a much smaller organisation and you don't have enough people who would be able to attend to fill up an entire training session, and these are a really good opportunity for you to send maybe 1 or 2 members of staff to be able to still access the training, and then they can disseminate the information to the rest of the organisation. Or if you wanted to go to a training session where there was a mix of different organisations there, then that's what the open sessions are there and are there to provide. And you can see the dates there for the open sessions that we've got coming up until July. But we can also offer a limited number of closed sessions as well. So if you've got an entire team or kind of group within your organisation that you want to be trained together, then we can accommodate groups of 10 to 18 participants, and this can be arranged at a time and date to suit the needs of your team. But like I said, there is a time limit on this, so it would need to be before the end of July 2026. And if you are interested in the training or if you want any further information, I'll put my email in the chat if you've got any questions. But if you are interested in the training, please do complete the application form that Christine has put in the chat to express your interest, and then a member of our team will get back to you and look at kind of arranging attendance either on one of the open sessions or if you're looking to arrange a closed session.
Wonderful. Thank you so much,
you.
Cara. That's perfect. So yeah, the link is in the chat to apply for that. And I would put your application in sooner rather than later, just to make sure that you are able to attend those open and closed sessions. So now I'm going to pass to Sam and Rich, who will be talking through the Access Safe Spaces. I will just pop in the chat a link to Access Safe Spaces as well. There you go.
Or you can scan the QR code there on that screen as well. That works. Thank you very much. Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Sam from Omni Productions, and as we said at the beginning, Rich is here to answer any questions in the chat if you need if you need to. We've been working with AXA for the past 18 months on this training and awareness raising resource for businesses to be able to better support their teams. I'm going to share my screen now and just take you through the website first, and then I'm going to show you a couple of films. Can everyone see this okay? Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah. So it uses drama and it uses expert-led testimonial to support the drama. So for example, when you might be doing a training with your team, you don't always have a safeguarding professional alongside. And our theory with this, if we take you through to one of these, is that you have this kind of training pathway where you can watch the film about this specific film was about coercive control and disclosure, for example, and you learn about that. You move into a kind of empathetic place because drama is so good at capturing emotions and taking people on that journey. And then it's supported straight afterwards by, in this case, Dr. Alison Gregory, who's a specialist in this subject, and she would then
coercive control
explain. Let me just turn the volume down on that. She would take you through the various scenes that are featured in that drama and explain how that works and how to better support those people that are going through that. The 3R methodology that EIDA use and obviously is out there is the same thing that we use on here in terms of recognizing, respond, and refer. We have supporting questions that take you through that journey, and then on the refer you have some victim survivors in the amazing Sarah and Andrew that gave us their testimonials and how they had such very, very different experiences from when they disclosed to their employers. One was sacked and the other one was massively supported, and it's quite interesting to see those. And the whole campaign is supported with No More global directory, which is the call to action at every step of the site that takes you through to a directory of resources, which I'm sure you're all aware, but it takes you into the various countries around the world. And our site is also available in, this is Japanese, I believe, and then we have currently 11 languages, and we're just about to add Korean and Turkish to the site as well. So it's really accessible. It's all subtitled, and if you want to roll it out internally and use it as a free resource, it's entirely free. There's no data captured. AXA wanted to produce it for their own We Care campaign, which is an internal system that they have around supporting their staff, and then wanted to gift it to businesses around the world to be able to use. So this whole resource is available to you to use. We have internal and external communication posters in all the different languages and social media backgrounds, email signatures, all sorts of things here that you can use. And then the people that are committing to using it can also get in touch with AXA and get their logo on here if they show that commitment publicly and they commit to using it with their staff. That's a new thing that they've just created here. So I'm going to show you a film that is kind of like a trailer. It's not selling anything. It's just an advert for how we produce the content, and it kind of gives you an idea of the different subjects that we cover.
Whoever you are, wherever you're from, anyone can experience domestic or sexual violence. For those experiencing violence and abuse, the workplace can be the only safe space.
I'm reaching out because I feel I can trust you with something personal. Something that's affecting me, which I feel is impacting my work.
I need to be able to come to work and have this normality.
Listen, Maria, your job is safe. We have policies in place, support networks with specialist advice, and HR will help. And if you want me to action anything, you just let me know.
Are we done?
If I find out you're having an affair, you will lose everything. You'll be homeless, jobless. The boys, you'll never see them again. I'll tell them you abandoned us.
It's like she gets this look in her eyes, and it's really easy for her to get inside my head, and I shut down, and you probably don't believe me.
Look, can we at least talk about my allowance? With everything going up, it's almost impossible to get through the week.
No.
Even just a little bit, it'd make things so much easier.
No. You've got 30 and that's it. And if you think you can't stick to it, then maybe I need to take your card away.
I'd really like to see this project mean that workplace responses to victim survivors are improved. I think it's a real opportunity for workplaces to really look after their employees and to understand that what's happening outside of work can have quite a big impact on what's happening inside of work, and to show genuine care and concern for their employees means considering the whole of their lives.
Hey Maggie, you want to save some of that energy for later.
Maggie! Maggie, it's me, Kath.
I can listen if you'd like.
With the No More Foundation, a global movement to end domestic violence and sexual violence, and leading charities and experts, AXA's Safe Spaces was created. Training to help create safe and supportive workplaces for employees, using stories, expert perspectives, and survivor testimony. AXA Safe Spaces helps to recognise the signs, respond with empathy, and refer those impacted to local specialist services.
I hope it takes out some of the fear for employers. I hope it helps employers realise that actually it is a conversation for the workplace, and that support for their employees is within their gift.
I want to give hope to people so that they can come forward and know that they are in safe hands and there is the support out there to enable them to reclaim their lives again.
No matter the size of your organisation or the nature of your work, you have the power to make a difference.
People will feel empowered to support survivors, and survivors will feel confident to reach out for help. I think that's the biggest change that's needed. And it's wonderful to think that this could achieve that.
AXA Safe Spaces. Find out more at safespaces-againstviolence.axa.com.
So, as you can see, it's entirely expert-led and people with lived experience. I've only got a couple of minutes left, but I wanted to show you just one of the films in its entirety. It's only 3 minutes long, but then it leads into, so this is the story of coercive control, Maria's story. it leads into the person that she's internally sending the email disclosure to. I'm just going to show you a little bit of that too. So this was the kind of accelerated pathway. So if nothing else, you watch the Why Safe Spaces on the homepage, Maria's story, it will take you right way through the whole disclosure process.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So if we can arrange it that you're available for the Tuesday meet, Maya, and then we'll pick it up after that. Have you got everything you need? Okay. Fine. So moving on to the remainder of the week, we have the board presentation on Friday. Daniel, how are you getting on with that? Oh, listen. Sorry, something's come up. Is it possible if we pick this up tomorrow? Tomorrow morning? Is that okay? Yeah, no, sure. Sure, check calendars. Okay. Great. Yeah, thanks. See you then.
Dear Sarah, I hope you're well. I'm reaching out because I feel I can trust you with something personal. Something that's affecting me, which I feel is impacting my work. This is difficult to share, but I am currently experiencing a challenging situation at home involving my husband, which I need you to treat with the utmost discretion. I'm doing my best to manage things, but there may be times when I need some flexibility, support, or understanding, whether that means adjustments to my schedule, time off for legal or personal matters, or simply knowing that I have a safe space at work. I want to ensure you that I remain committed to my role, but I felt it was important to be open about what I'm going through in case it affects my performance or availability. I know it's not an easy topic, and I appreciate your understanding in advance. Please let me know if we can arrange a time to talk privately. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Kindest regards, Maria.
So,
Yeah, you got my email.
I did. Thank you. Well, the first thing you should know is that we have things in place to support you, okay? But it needs to be your decision as to how we proceed, if that's what you want to do. But whatever the route, we will be here for you.
Thanks.
Listen, you don't have to tell me anything you feel uncomfortable sharing, okay?
Michael has standards that if I don't meet.
Yeah, you get a sense of the drama and how that works. So yeah, I hope you can use it. If you want to get in touch with us, Richard can put our email addresses in the chat, or you can get in touch. I think Christina's going to share them afterwards, and we can put you in touch with AXA if you want to get involved with the supporters page. Otherwise, it's free to use, and check it out and watch the rest of the content and see what you think.
Well, thank you so much, Sam, Rich, and Cara for demonstrating all of these opportunities available to SMEs. It's wonderful. And yes, please, everyone who has taken part, thank you so much for your time today. We will leave the webinar open for a little bit if anybody does want to ask questions. Hopefully we can remove all the camera and no mics, but thank you all for joining, and please feel free to utilize those resources and share them out beyond as well. Thank you.